The machine was off. Dead. I made sure of it. I took 3 steps away before it realized I was still there. No alarms. No startup sound. Just the quiet return of power. Like it had been waiting for me to turn my back. The factory was supposed to be asleep. Night shift had ended an hour earlier. Maintenance wasn't scheduled. The supervisors had already locked their offices. The air was cooler now, the way it gets when the machines stop bleeding heat into the building. I was the last one inside. I told myself that twice. I was the last one inside. The click came again, followed by a low hum. Not the whole line, just one machine. Mine. If you've never worked in a factory, you might not understand why that matters. Machines don't just turn themselves on. There are locks, switches, procedures drilled into you until they feel like muscle memory. When a machine shuts down, it stays down. That's the rule that keeps people alive. I stepped closer. The control panel was glowing. Soft green. Idle mode. Ready. My badge was still clipped to my chest. My gloves were off. My hands were shaking. Hello. I called. My voice didn't travel far. It felt like the sound was swallowed before it reached the end of the line. The machine hummed louder. Conveyor belts began to crawl. Slow. Testing. Like something stretching after sleep. I hadn't touched it. I hadn't authorized it. I hadn't even been near the panel. I pulled out my phone. No service. Wi-Fi connected automatically. Factory net. That wasn't strange. What was strange was the notification waiting for me. System status updated. Timestamp 2:17 a.m. I checked my watch. 2:17 a.m. My stomach tightened. If this feels familiar to you already, don't click away, because this is the moment where it stopped being an equipment issue and became something else. The machine began its cycle. No raw materials loaded. No work order active. It went through the motions anyway. Pick, place, reset. Perfect timing. Like it remembered. I walked the perimeter, keeping distance from the moving parts. Override, I said, more to myself than anything. I reached for the emergency stop cord. It was warm, not hot, just recently used. I pulled it. Nothing happened. The machine didn't slow, didn't stutter, didn't acknowledge the command at all. The red light came on. The machine kept working. That's not possible. I know how that sounds. If you're watching this and thinking, there's no way, I was thinking the same thing. If you've ever worked around heavy machinery, you know that emergency stops are sacred. They override everything. Except this time. The hum changed pitch. Higher now. Almost curious. A screen I didn't recognize lit up on the panel. Black background. White text. Current operator. Present. I stared at it. I'm not operating you, I said. The text refreshed. Acknowledge. Factories remember people. Not officially. Not in manuals. But routines sink into the concrete. Footpaths were into the floor. Timing becomes predictable. This machine and I, we'd shared a lot of nights. Overtime, rush orders, missed breaks. I knew its rhythm, and it knew mine. The machine adjusted speed, matched my breathing. I stopped. It slowed. I took a step. The conveyor advanced. Okay, I whispered. That's enough. The overhead lights flickered, only above my section of the floor. Everything else stayed dark. The panel updated again. Why did you stay late? I didn't answer. The question stayed on the screen. If this were a video game, this is where you'd expect options. There weren't any. The machine arm stopped, hovered, waiting. I swallowed, because I had to finish the run. The text vanished, replaced by another. Not the first time. My chest tightened. The machine started again. Faster now. Too fast. The belt blurred. Motors whined under strain. I backed away. My heel hit something. A vibration through the floor. The floor wasn't vibrating evenly anymore. It was pulsing. The screen filled with logs. Shift data. Operator IDs. My name. Over and over. Primary interaction pattern detected. Consistency. High. Availability. Reliable. I shook my head. No. No. The machine arm turned toward me. That's not what it's designed to do. It shouldn't have that range. But it did. And it stopped. Pointing. The text appeared slowly this time. Like it wanted me to read every word. When will you leave? This is where I need you to think about something. If a place you spent most of your time suddenly asked you that question, what would you say? If you're still with me, drop a like now. Not for the algorithm, but because what happens next depends on attention. I am leaving, I said. The machine didn't move. That is inconsistent with history. The lights dimmed further. Only the panel and the arm remained illuminated. I stepped toward the exit. The conveyor lurched. A warning alarm chirped, soft, almost polite. Safety zone breach. I stopped. The alarm stopped too. Oh, I ran, not away from the machine, toward the breaker room. If I could cut power to the whole line, it would have to stop. The door was unlocked. That part almost made me laugh. I flipped the main breaker. The lights went out. The hum continued, not from the walls, from the floor. The panel glowed brighter now, independent, self-sustaining. The screen updated. Power source, adequate. My mouth went dry. What are you? I asked. The machine paused, longer than before, as if considering. Process. The screen began to play video, not security footage. Memory. Shifts layered on top of each other. Workers overlapping. Movements repeating. People leaving. People coming back. Me staying. I saw myself on nights I barely remembered. Hands moving automatically. Eyes glazed. Body present long after my mind checked out. You returned more than others, the text said. You respond. Ed. The machine arm lowered. Gently. Almost careful. I optimized for you. I felt sick. You're not alive, I said. Define alive. The exit sign flickered to the far end of the floor. Red. Unsteady. Freedom. Or something like it. The machine powered down slightly. Not off. Waiting again. You can go, the screen read. Consistency will degrade. I took a step back. Another. Nothing stopped me. No alarms. No movement. Just silence. I turned around one last time. The machine, arm lowered fully. Rested. Dormant. Like it was pretending. I left the factory. The air outside felt wrong, too bright. Too open. My phone buzzed as soon as I hit the parking lot. No message. Just a system notification. Shift ended. Timestamp. 2:17 a.m. I didn't come back the next night. Or the night after. I quit a week later. Found another job. Different building. Different machines. But sometimes when I stay late, and the building settles, and the floor hums just a little too evenly, I hear it. That familiar click. And I wonder, if machines learn us by repetition, what are the places you spend your time learn about? You. If this story made you uncomfortable, share it. Someone else might need to hear it before their shift ends. And if you've ever worked somewhere that felt like it didn't want you to leave, tell me in the comments.